What's up, wingman? Ernst is back with another video, and this time we're going to talk about 7-ish tips on how to pass MEPS.
Tips, huh?
We can add more, we can take one away, we can do whatever we want. We're in the Air Force. Just kidding. So, to my sides are my wingmen, my actual wingmen. This is Jose Levitt. They're going to help me clarify some either experiences or add on to what not to do or what to do. All right, let's get into it. Number 1.
To wear.
Show the world what shirt you're wearing right now.
United
Right here. United Space Force. She's spacing out. Moving on to tip number 1. Do not lie about any problems that might render you incapable of performing throughout your entire career, BMT included. However, if you've gone to the doctor when you're like 5 years old, little puppy, they don't care. No, they don't care for that crap. Nope. Also, if you say that you're allergic to something, it's considered allergic until you have the paperwork to show for it.
Yep.
Like, they're like...
It don't count.
Yeah. Did you get a doctor saying that you're allergic? Then it doesn't count. You'll just flare up the next time they shoot you up with it. Tip number 2. Don't smoke weed. If you smoke right now, stop smoking weed. What'd you say? 6 months in advance?
Yeah, you should stop smoking at least 6 months in advance, because even if you stop 2 weeks before, it will stay in your system for at least 6 months.
Yep. This is CBD included. CBD.
Fish
CBD's,
oils.
Yeah, fish oils. Oh, fish oils. Dang.
That's what got 2 of them.
Alright, I made her disappear. No, I'm just kidding. She had to step out for a phone call. Alright, stop smoking weed. CBD counts. Yeah, we had someone, I think 1 or 2 people test at BMT. They took the drug test. You can scoot in if you want. They took the drug test and it came back later on like negative. I mean positive. So they got booted out of the Air Force. They didn't even pass basic training.
It's not worth to smoke to try and lose your whole career over it.
Right. When it didn't even start.
Right.
It ain't worth it. Stop smoking weed. There are other things you can do here, like tip number 3. Stop messing around. Don't run around. Don't horseplay. Stop like trying to be all cool and buddy with like the new dudes or chicks that you just met. You're not there to make friends. You're there to pass.
Don't run around in the hallways. Just don't do anything you wouldn't do if you were at church.
Yeah, and as you're changing, don't be stupid and like smack people with like your towel or something.
No horseplay.
That's just weird.
That's not tolerated any level.
It's being weird, trainee. Not a trainee yet. You have to pass maps. Follow directions. Shut your mouth. Follow directions. Do as you're told. That's all the military is. Do as you're told. Shut your mouth. Yep. Also, do not walk into MEPS with weapons. Anything is considered a weapon. Your key is not considered a weapon, but your key chains, whatever you have in them, if it's like a multi-tool. So if you do happen to bring, like me, I brought nail clippers, and the officer asked me if it had the file on it. So I kind of freaked out, but he's like, it's all right, you can either throw them away. But I was like, nah, I don't want to throw away these nice clippers. So I broke it off, threw that away, and then put it away. But
just be sure to tell them about it, because if they find it and you don't tell them, they'll think you're trying to do something, and they will stop you from joining at least for a year.
Yeah.
When I was in the Nevada one in Vegas, they said like they told us 3 times, and like they said by the 3rd time, if you walk into this building, you're literally gonna have a felony. You won't ever be able to get to join, and you'll literally get arrested on spot, because they had told you prior. They told you again, and then a 3rd time, and then you still walked into the building. It's like, you know, so
what are you really trying to do?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
So yeah, they were like pretty serious about that.
Damn. Well, that's good to know. Don't bring any weapons. Leave it. You'll be away from it for like a day or 2. That's it.
You won't need it anyways.
You won't need it. You won't need it anyways. Yeah. You won't need your knife or your nail file. Tip number 4. Hold your own. Eat your food. Drink your water in the morning, like when you're supposed to. Eat all your food, because throughout the day I guarantee you're gonna get hungry. You're not supposed to bring any outside food or anything in. Drink water throughout the day. Stay hydrated, because you need to pee in a cup anyways. But eat your food, because if you end up getting a headache later on, they're gonna ask you about it. You're gonna complain about it and say you're feeling like crap. They're gonna disqualify you. Like, it's as easy as that. and now your Air Force career hasn't even started yet.
You can really get disqualified for pretty much anything. If you lie, if you don't tell them something, if you do drugs, if you don't eat enough, you have pains, headaches, whatever. They can disqualify you for about pretty much anything.
Mm-hmm. Tip number 5. Do not lie about anything. If it's on paper, if it's on record, don't lie about it, because it's a military, dude. They have your background. They just want to make sure that you're telling the truth. So don't lie about it. Be honest. Get a waiver. Whatever. Get in the Air Force. That's how you do it.
That's how it works.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
tip number 6. Whatever you say, make sure you have the paperwork to back it up. Like anything, whether you got a ticket, like a speeding ticket, like put it down. Be honest, and get the right confirmation for it.
If you show up and don't have the proper documents, they will send you home. They won't care. Just make sure you at least got your birth certificate, your social, your state ID, driver's license, whatever.
Transcripts, everything.
If you got college credits, bring that too. Bring everything.
Yeah. So, like, we all like processed out of Vegas, and then we all went through BMT together, and then we all ended up going to the same tech school, which is dope. I think it's so dope. But him and I, we actually processed out of Utah MEPS, which is like 6 hours away from Vegas. So I actually know of a little kid. He was little to me because he's young to me. At the very end of his MEPS experience, after all the medical, after all the testing and ASVAB and everything, he got sent home. I don't know. I forgot what it was. It was something though, like a piece of paper that he needed to get from his recruiter. Like that's it. Like he got sent home, and he had to come back like a month later. Bring everything you need, literally. If you don't know if you need it, bring it, just in case. Like, it'll help you in the long run.
If you got 2 forms of identification, bring them.
Yes.
They might accept one, won't accept the other.
Mm-hmm. As for the waivers, there are waivers for everything, like almost everything. So if you get a waiver, you get into the Air Force. Not that hard. And it's not a bad thing. Like, yeah, you might be limited on your job selection, but I'd rather be in the Air Force and have a job in the Air Force than like be like, oh, I couldn't get aircraft loadmaster because brr. Like, there are other jobs, and you can cross train most likely while you're like after a couple years into your contract. It's not really that big of a deal. Like,
I think you have to kill like the personality test too, because I
Yeah.
think that really makes your selection on jobs, especially if you want to be like I feel like security forces and being like a fire protector and stuff like that, those kind of jobs, like they're looking for like alpha personalities, or they're looking for like people who are like born leaders, I guess. And so like whenever you answer those questions, like really believe that that's what you
be honest.
are.
Yeah.
Be honest to you, because in the end, whenever you have to do the job or whatever, you're gonna have to deal with those kind of people and personalities, and you know.
Think about it this way: if you go and take the personality test, and it asks you 10 questions about, are you a go-getter? Like, think about it. Like, it's not embarrassing. Don't be embarrassed. Like, if you're not a go-getter and you're more like, you know, the shy type, or you like to like hang back and then like see where things go, that's cool. Say that. Like, be honest, because if you keep saying, yeah, I'm a go-getter, I'm this and that and this and that, alpha, you get that job and then you go train, you might be miserable. You might like it, but you might also be miserable, and you're stuck with that career for the next at least 3 years until you can cross-train. So really think about like the job, like if you really want to be that Billy BA, or like be that honest, like, oh, I think I'll really love this job because it suits my personality. So like that personality test is like, it is a big deal.
Everything they do at MEPS
They make it seem like it's not a big deal.
Right.
But
It is.
Pretty much everything you do at MEPS, it's really just to see what you're qualified to do. Like anywhere from the ASVAB to the drug test to the medical test, it's all to see what you can do.
Yep.
Especially coming from me, where I couldn't do much, but like I couldn't lift much, but that didn't really hinder anything. They really just care about your scores, your medical, and you're good to go.
Right. Tip number 7. Study for the ASVAB. Like, as much as you can. Stop trying to, you know, cool if you're like, oh, I never need to study, I just go right into it. Cool, whatever. That's your life, that's your score. But I recommend, like, study. Buy an ASVAB for Dummies. I don't recommend that one actually, but buy an ASVAB study guide and study.
Sorry for bothering. I'm just looking for those tiny amps somewhere.
Amps? Oh, there's one here, and then I think one guy over here.
Oh, that's one.
Make sure you study your ASVAB book, like your study guide, because I guarantee you there's going to be something in that guide that is going to trip you up during the test. You might think you know every single thing because you just got out of high school or whatever, but look over the book because that is going to be most likely what they're going to test you on. You're going to go through high school and be like, I took all these courses, but what kind of questions?
The minimum score you need to get in is at least a 32, but you should always shoot higher for them than that because the higher your score, the more jobs you have available.
Right.
I got a tutor because when I first did the ASVAB, I had like a 28 and it really sucked, and I was like, oh my god, like I'm not gonna be able to join because I didn't even get the bare minimum. And then I got a tutor and then I doubled my score, like up to a 49. So I was pretty happy about that, and it does help to study. I'm like not the best at test taking either, so
I'm not either.
and I think the CAT Pi test or something like that, that's
Cat.
actually like a easier test. So if you never took the ASVAB before, they give you that test first, and that one's actually a lot better. And then it's
It
like
is.
you take half of it at home, and then you take the other half in the building. So it kind of like gives you that. I don't know.
Also, the PiCat. The thing about the PiCat, I tested on the PiCat, and then they said that your test results last for 30 days. So within that 30 days, your recruiter is supposed to book you a physical appointment to take a verification test. The verification test is supposed to be literally like a 25-minute short version of the PiCat. I did not get lucky. I took the PiCat full version online, which was an easier version of the actual written exam. But he was like, because of COVID, this satellite testing center is closed, so I'm gonna have to send you to Utah, BFE, and test you there. And that was like 2 months after I tested the PiCat. So my results were null and void. So don't rely on your PiCat scores entirely because you don't know if you're gonna be able to verify that test. So study.
I mean, personally,
Smooth.
I didn't study as much as some people did, but I did, and I was already out of high school for like 2 years, and I scored a 76. But I still could have done better. But just don't try and just get the minimum. Don't ever try and just get the minimum.
You're joining the Air Force to exceed your excellence in all you do.
I feel like it doesn't really matter about the, like, yes, score as high as you possibly can on the ASVAB, because yes, you're gonna have, you know, the higher you get, the more jobs you do get. But at the same time, there was people that had like a high ass score. I just said they have a high score, and then like they had the, like, you know, jobs that people were scoring like
Lower on
35 or whatever, and getting those jobs. So it's like really, it's, I don't know how to say it. Like,
Don't beat yourself up if you don't get 100.
Because like it really doesn't matter almost.
There's so many tips here. Okay, so let's whittle it down. Don't beat yourself up if you don't get 100. Study for the test. Don't rely on the PiCat. Study. Just do your best because you can get possibly the job that you really, really want, or that really Billy BA job. But also, don't beat yourself up. Don't be so hard on yourself. Just make sure you do the right thing for you and study. Cool. All right, that's all we have. What, 7 tips? I think it was 6 or 7 tips on how to pass MIPS. All right.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Happy Thanksgiving. Oh yeah, today's Thanksgiving. Eat. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you. Stay fresh, and I'll catch you in the next.